Kyler and Lamar, both first-round picks. One has an MVP, the other has MVP talent. So let's pit them against each other, my friends. Let's do this to start the third hour. We have a few different categories. Lamar or Kyler? Starting off, both in the AFC North and the NFC West, both of their divisions, Lamar and Kyler, sent a team to the Super Bowl last year. So the first question of these two, which of them is more likely or has a better shot to win their division in 2022? Selva, start with you.
I think that Lamar has the best chance of winning the division. It's going to be tight, don't get me wrong, but you have to wonder how the Bengals are going to respond 1 year removed from being in the Super Bowl. Then there are the Browns. They have talent there in Cleveland, but the question is, who's going to be under center? Yes, Deshaun Watson is the guy who's there now, but he's facing those civil suits, so that has to be resolved. And then when you look at the Pittsburgh Steelers and their quarterback situation, where do they go from Big Ben? I know Big Ben toward the end was a shell of himself, but at this point in time, I think Lamar is in the best place, especially if they are healthy on both sides of the ball. Darius.
Hey, I'm with you for a lot of those same reasons. I would like to see these two play pickleball against each other too, but I'm with you for a lot of the same reasons.
Oh, yeah.
Question marks for two of the teams at quarterback in both of these divisions. NFC West, you got the Seahawks with question marks, and then the 49ers we talked about earlier. But I came out of the gate picking the Ravens to win the division. Obviously, I got to stay with them. Lamar coming back, I think he wins the division this year. He has a better chance winning out there in the AFC North.
My biggest question when it comes to Kyler Murray, besides the contract situation, which let's make very clear, you cannot put to bed that situation unless and until Murray ends up getting that long-term deal. But it's also about the absence of DeAndre Hopkins for the first 6 games of this season because of a suspension. Hopkins, of course, missed the tail end of last season, and the difference was stark, not just for Kyler Murray, but the rest of that Cardinals team. You look at the numbers, it's not even close. The production fell off, but overall, as a team, they did not play as well down the stretch. So can you get off to a hot start, which has been a hallmark of the Cliff Kingsbury era? You start fast, then down the stretch, they've hit some bumps along the road here. Can you still do that without one of the game's most dynamic talents? They've, of course, invested a lot of resources in that wide receiver position. Christian Kirk, though, also no longer a member of the Arizona Cardinals, got a huge deal with the Jaguars. Kyler Murray, again, assuming that he is the quarterback in week 1 in the early portion of the season, not going to have his top wide receiver, and that's going to make it that much harder in a really challenging division.
Well, I think that looms large here, Tom, and I think we all need a full cleanse of the Kyler Murray playoff experience last year, which was really brutal, before we can start saying that they're going to win the division and take on the Rams. So we have essentially a clean sweep here. So let's move to the second question of Lamar or Kyler. Let me give you a scenario, and we'll start with you again. Your team is down 5 points. You have the ball on your own 25 with a minute 10 to go and no timeouts. Minute 10 to go. 25-yard line, down 5. Who would you rather have as your quarterback in your huddle, Lamar Jackson or Kyler Murray? What do you think? Selva.
It is Lamar for me because we've seen it from him. He's shown it to us. He beat the Titans in the playoffs. Who could forget that poop trot game there against Cleveland? Remember, he went to the bathroom. McSorley goes down to injury, throws that touchdown, and then guess what? They have to then drive back down the field and win. So he has been in these situations. He's actually clutched up. And unless Kyler Murray is throwing a Hail Mary, I'm not seeing the same sort of clutchness out of him that I see at a Lamar. So if he's my guy, he's more vocal in that huddle. Hey, guys, you'll never believe what just happened in the bathroom. Touchdown, Ravens! So, yes, I'm going with Lamar all day on this one.
My first thought would be Kyler because he's a better natural thrower, but Lamar, he's a magician. I saw him, unfortunately, do it to my Colts last year, down multiple touchdowns in the second half, and he just makes it happen. So I would have to go with Lamar. He's led this league in passing touchdowns already once in his career. So give me Lamar in my huddle in a 2-minute drive to win it or a 4-minute drive to close out a victory with their running offense. So I'm going with Lamar.
If you just look at this objectively, they've started almost the exact same number of games, 49 for Lamar, 46 for Kyler. They've got almost the exact same number of game-winning drives, 7 for Kyler and 8 for Lamar. It's a toss-up because they're going to try to beat you in different ways. Yes, they both can obviously use their legs as a weapon, but we've seen Kyler in terms of the way that he throws the football. It's a little bit different than how Lamar and that passing offense work. You're going to do a lot of the damage with the wide receivers in Arizona. In Baltimore, it's going to be a lot that goes with the tight ends, as well as Lamar just being an absolute pure playmaker. If you have to give the nod to one person or the other, Lamar is the former NFL MVP. We've seen him do it for a longer period of time, though it should bear mentioning here that Kyler Murray, if you look at his 3 seasons, the way that team has improved from being a 2-win team before he got there to the incremental improvement getting into the playoffs a year ago. I know, Kyle, the playoff game was bad. Will was probably going to use another ugly word here on TV to describe that playoff game, but it's a matter of whether or not you can translate what we've seen from the best of Kyler Murray, do it on a more regular basis.
All right, so let's keep score here. We thought we had a fun little idea for a segment where we take these 2 great young quarterbacks and we go back and forth debating them. Through 2 questions, we have a full unanimous vote across the board for Lamar, both in each category. No one has voted for Kyler in either of them. So you know what we do in this point? You lean on democracy. We asked the people who they'd rather have for a game-winning drive, Lamar or Kyler. And look at this. 78-5 on Lamar. Kyler Murray is having a rough segment, and I think it's some of the optics. I think it's the playoff game. I think it's how well they started last year and didn't finish. I think it's the offseason drama. And let me just tell you this, though, as it pertains to Lamar. You guys remember yesterday on the show, I was ranking quarterbacks. We all were. And I put up this board, and I said, here's my 4, Rodgers, Allen, Mahomes, Brady, and for 5, I have nobody.
Yep.
You take this, you put it on social media, everybody fills in their 5th pick. I've heard everything from Matthew Stafford to Derek Carr to Joe Burrow, a lot of Justin Herbert. I don't think there's a single person who said Lamar Jackson. Nobody. I didn't see any Ravens fans who said that. An MVP who's won in the playoffs, and yet no one has any interest in him in the top 5, and yet he is dunking on Kyler Murray in this segment. This is where we're at, and let's finish the experiment and see if it is a full Lamar sweep. Guys, this is simple. Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray, who do you believe is the better athlete? The better athlete, Darius Butler, what say you?
Oh, it's been a clean sweep for Lamar so far. He's the home team, too. 954 Broward County legend. And it almost sounds crazy to say that anybody's a better athlete than Lamar Jackson, but I'm going to say it. Kyler Murray, first guy, they're both Heisman winners, but first guy drafted in the first round in the NFL draft and the MLB draft. So I got to tip my cap to Kyler Murray and give him this one. He's the better athlete. We've had Deion Sanders come through, Bo Jackson, Russell Wilson, all these great 2-sport guys, but he's the only guy to be drafted in the first round in both sports. Got to go Kyler Murray on this one.
All right, Darius is looking up for Kyler in this segment. KB, I don't know if you remember, we had Kyler Murray on this very program, and we asked him which video games he grew up playing, and this is what he told us.
Probably like a Mario Kart, Madden, one of those.
Yeah.
I think everybody played Mario games and stuff like that.
Oh,
so
yeah.
those were probably the first couple of games that I felt.
Who's your driver in Mario Kart?
I think it was Toad.
Yeah! Perfect.
Fastest guy in the NFL. He was Toad.
I know.
Yeah.
We were incredulous. So we had the split screen with Kyler as an Oakland Athletic. How about with Toad, both adorable and speedy as hell? Anyway, anyone who could dominate with Toad, to me, is special. Okay? You can't discount what he can do in a virtual arena. No one picks Toad at all. You have to be an incredible athlete, and that's what I think Kyler Murray is in not only baseball, but yes, also Mario Kart, Tom.
Awesome.
I was a big Bowser guy, which is basically the opposite of Toad. There was nothing nifty about Bowser.
Yes.
He's just huge. He doesn't really fit on the vehicle that he's on, but he can smash over anybody. Not going to make up a lot of ground, not the speediest guy. It's pretty much the exact opposite philosophy. I basically agree exactly with what Darius said in terms of Kyler Murray being the 2-sport star. Not a lot to add there.